Hey everybody, this is Ray and I'm here with Chirag. We're talking about the Cisco AI Summit. It was actually a pretty interesting event, happened February 3rd at St. Regis Hotel. But more importantly, we had a chance to really tune into what industry leaders on the vendor side we're talking about. Great lineup: Jensen, Sam, Mark Andreessen, Matt Garman, Fei-Fei, Lip-Bu Tan, Amin from Google, Tarek from Humane, Kevin Scott from Microsoft, Mike Krieger, Kevin Wild, Dylan Field, of course, Aaron Levy and Newberger, Brett McCurk, and Francine from Cisco rounding out the lineup. Definitely a hot event, definitely a hot ticket. Lots of CIOs there, lots of executives. Everybody's trying to jump in there. But let's start with the OpenAI versus Anthropic. It was interesting to see both there. Sam Altman opened, and we also had two other folks, OpenAI and Anthropic there. I don't know. They look like different companies, sound like different companies. Chirag, what did you think?
They are very different companies. Sam Altman said that Codex, their code generation tool, it felt like a Chat GPT moment. Those are his words, not mine. And Sam Altman believes that there's capability overhang. That means they are moving way too fast and they are building things that customers are not consuming. Anthropic, on the other side, does not have that problem. Claude is doing amazingly well. They are 100%, their code is generated through Claude, and at the same time, they have about 2,000 to 3,000 PR, pull requests a day that they are actually doing. So culturally very different, consumer-driven, enterprise-driven, but it seems like, interesting things are happening there.
You know what? It's right. I mean, Mike Krieger, they felt like enterprise. They had a roadmap. They understand products. They knew that they had to have customer service support. They built to the customer's needs. And OpenAI just felt like they were going at it after everything at once. So it's going to be interesting, especially with the Super Bowl ads head to head. We're going to hear a little bit more about that. Figma, Dylan was interesting. We talked about creativity and what it means to be working with each other and how organizations are going to be working with AI and partnering with AI to get a lot done. And I thought it was really good to get his perspective, thinking about the world isn't over. Developers are still important. People are still going to do their work, right? It's going to be very different. And more importantly, you can have a few people do a lot of big things. Now, let's talk to Matt Garman, AWS. Very interesting conversation points. What would you say stuck out from his conversation to the audience, Chirag?
Matt Garman said one thing which was very important. He said that the proof of concepts, a whole bunch of people did proof of concept with generative AI, with AWS, but none of them had really good success criteria.
Yeah.
So Garman is like, well, people are doing all this stuff, but they just don't know how to measure. So his advice to CIOs there is like, make sure you have the right metrics. And the other thing Garman said was quite interesting, that at AWS, his teams, he has two kinds of teams. One is teams started using AI right from the beginning versus other teams that have other code, but now they are using AI to write that code. And guess what?
Any differences?
Yeah, guess what? The teams that started right from the beginning have 100x improvement versus 10x that the other teams are seeing, because it's all about context. AI needs context. The AI understood what these developers actually want, and it got better and better and better.
Wow, that's a huge difference. That should tell people you should
Speaking
start.
of Dylan, one thing he said, which stuck out with Dylan Field, he said that the prompt is the craft. Someone asked him saying, can designers have a bad taste? And it's like, oh, designers will go away. Like, it's such a ridiculous thing, because the thing is, the prompt still matters. AI could generate a bunch of random stuff, but the craft is, designer's craft is what you tell AI to do. It's still going to matter.
Very, very important, right? It's the questions you ask, not the answers. It becomes really important, right? You have to have the difference between experience and expertise. You can have lots of expertise, but without the experience, you don't know exactly what you're supposed to do. So those are definitely great comments there. Fei-Fei, World Labs, very interesting, right? Fei-Fei went through.
Very interesting.
She was talking about her journey, just curiosity about AI, and now taking it to the next level, which is really the physical intelligence, spatial intelligence that's actually happening around you, right? How do you define objects, bump into objects? What does that mean? And I think there's a lot there about to come, but I think it was nice to see that she's actively curious, very interested in actually finding what the next piece was about to happen, or what was next around the corner. And so World Labs is definitely one of those things that we'll be paying attention to over the next couple of years. Jensen shows up. He shows up and had a really good conversation. You were lucky to be privy to that conversation. Tell us more.
Jensen showed up late in the evening, He was in Asia for 2 weeks. He was in Houston, took a flight. He had 3 glasses of wine. And then what we got was real Jensen. And he talked about chips, infrastructure to what's going on in the world. And he said that his thing was let hundreds flower bloom. And what he meant by that is you really have to let go and let people experiment with AI. You don't know what's going to work, what's not going to work. So he was very honest about that. But he said that, look, the AI thing is real. It is happening. And you have to start somewhere. And the way you start somewhere is not that you pick one use case. You pick 100 use cases and see where you see the improvement and see where things stick or things don't stick and pick that and refine that. So that was Jensen. Also had a partnership with Cisco. And speaking of Cisco, G2 opened and G2 had 3 things to say. Cisco sees 3 key issues. One is infrastructure gap, second is the data gap, and third is the trust deficit. So the entire discussion was around data, infrastructure, and trust. And Cisco is driving all these 3 things forward with their set of products and portfolio and partnerships, including partnership with NVIDIA.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely couldn't talk about this event without talking about G2. Masterfully done. We'll really good interviews with everyone up there. Aaron Levy, let's talk a little bit about what he was up to and some of his comments. They're pretty insightful. And the good news is, like, we all believe that SaaS isn't dead, and AI hasn't killed SaaS because AI is really software. So keep going. What did you see? So,
Aaron Levy, G2 asked him saying, I have to ask you, is SaaS dead? And Aaron Levy is like, I have to tell you that SaaS is not dead. and then he went on to describe the challenges. And one thing that really stuck out, that he said that the reason we are seeing the AI usage with the code generation and popularity among engineers is that it's all digital. Developers have a fixed code base. It's all digital. Requirements are all digital. They don't have access issue. They have access to the entire GitHub repo. That is not how sales, marketing, finance, legal works. They go to meetings. Someone takes notes. Someone takes notes on something like this. To someone types notes. To you have an email. To you have a doc. So according to Aaron, what he was saying, that if the other lines of businesses, if they really want to leverage AI, we need to upgrade the way we work. And I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely great event. It's their 2nd year. They did a great job. We got some great turnout, lots of content. It was live broadcast on CNBC. People got to see it right away. I think there's some great elements to the event. Very kudos to the Cisco team for putting that together. Quick reminder, programming note, catch the Constellation AI Forum. It's at the Quad Conference Center. It's going to be March 19th, 2026 in Menlo Park, California. We bring together 60 to 80 chief AI officers. You get more content there. We tend to have less of a vendor event, more of a practitioner event. So for those watching, definitely catch that event. And of course, some final thoughts here. I would say that there are 3 things every company needs to think about. One is the fact that we are in margin compression. That means because of AI, because what's going on, you're working 10 times harder just to stay still. So you're gonna have to push harder. Number 2, we're in a world of exponential scale, just like Chirag was talking about at AWS. I mean, the 10x, 100x, those differences are real. If you're trying to get a 20% improvement or 50% improvement, you're in the wrong scale. This is the world of AI, and it's 10x, 100x, thousands of x in order to talk about what we're doing here. And the last piece is infinite possibilities. Think about this. You can do anything you want. We can code at the speed of thought because of AI. But what that means is we have to do something very different. We have to get back to our order of operations. Precision and order of operations is everything. You could be fast and you could have amazing speed, but this is a game about velocity. You want to point that speed to the right direction. And so that's what we're seeing, especially in this age of AI. And we're gonna hear more there. So, hey, Chirag, thanks for your comments. Great catching up with you here. Great event, be able to go there. And that's it here for our little segment here in terms of the Cisco AI Summit.